The First Day, written by PaggyUK. By the time Ambassador Threx of the Viridian Concordant arrived, it was already too late to run. Ambassador Threx stepped off the shuttle ramp and onto the shiny steps of the Galactic Concourse. He adjusted his filtration collar and his formal robes and looked up with pride at the domed heart of interstellar governance, which towered above him, radiant, eternal, and supposedly stable. He pumped out his chest with pride. He had finally accomplished his dream after a lifetime of training. Learning the art of diplomatic negotiation, memorizing every single interspecies protocol, every nuance of diplomatic body language, even the Maxari blink and the dreaded Orolok scent plume. It was his first day as the Viridian Concordant Ambassador to the Galactic Senate, a hub of discipline and stoicism, and he was extremely proud. And within minutes of his arrival, he realized that something was very wrong. The air in the Senate Hall was thick with ozone and panic. Everywhere he looked, he saw ambassadors and their aides scrambling about in absolute chaos, dragging archive lockers, speaking in hushed panic tones. Viridian protocol was rigid, and to Threx's eyes, this was not how the Senate should be conducting itself. An 8-legged Droxy ambassador, known for their strict law-abiding culture, knocked over a pillar in his rush to flee the planet, shrieking something about retribution, and "we're all doomed" through a translator band as he vanished into the diplomatic shuttle, which proceeded to violate the speed limit as it left the atmosphere. Even the immovable stone-faced Mern were abandoning their posts and fleeing the planet. Threx stopped a passing Qatari staffer, her mandibles clicking so fast it was more of a constant clack than a click. Threx could see the pure fear of panic in her eyes. "What's going on? Is the Senate under attack?" Threx asked. Her eyes wide with terror, and her voice, even through the translator, was filled with dread. "They are coming!" With that, she proceeded to run as fast as she could to her embassy shuttle. "Who?" Threx called after her, shocked at the interaction. The scene was the same wherever he looked. His blood cooled as the deep sense of foreboding overtook him. Threx, determined to get some answers, stormed up the steps, pushing his way through the chaos and into the Senate chamber, where, the far end beneath the Galactic Senate sigil, stood the sci-fi High Speaker, rooted in solemn stillness. Threx rushed over to speak and bowed respectfully, his voice wavering. "High Speaker, forgive me, but I've only just arrived, and no one has given me the straight answer. What is happening?" The speaker, a being known throughout the galaxy for her calmness and emotional control, shifted her gaze from the sigil to Threx, tears flowing down her face. Her normally bright feather plume, now flattened and dull, smiled a weary smile at Threx. "Welcome, young Ambassador Threx. Please sit. You deserve the truth, all of it," she quivered. They sat down in a receptacle, and she produced a device from her pocket. She pressed a button, and a hologram blinked into life. It displayed a pale blue sphere slowly orbiting a bright star. Threx didn't recognize it, or the system it inhabited either, but it looked lush, peaceful, and beautiful. 35,000 cycles ago, the speaker began, her voice full of sorrow, a Senate research vessel encountered a small, insignificant planet in the Orion arm of our galaxy. Its dominant species at the time were primitive bipeds, Homo sapiens, and Neanderthals. "Pre-FTL?" Threx queried. "Very," came the speaker's reply. "But extremely troubling. They developed tools too quickly. They had organized wars before developing agriculture, and invented fire before diplomacy." The holographic image changed to that of a virus strain. Its strands appeared, spiraling like knives. The Quorum of Biological Stability, after some deliberation, issued a decree. A weaponized virus was to be deployed to the planet, meant to sterilize both species. Threx's rules fled in shock. "Sterilization, that violates—" "The Quorum acted alone at first," the speaker said bitterly, "and they failed, partly. The virus eradicated the Neanderthals, but the Homo sapiens, they adapted, mutated, and survived. Their immune systems are able to render the virus useless." Threx watched as the hologram displayed Earth's history. His horror grew, and, as witness to the true extent of humanity's rise, plagues, fire, war, famine, and yet the species persisted, enduring.
The quorum made the Senate complicit, an accomplice to that crime, knowing that we would be finished if anyone found out. We tried again to hide our sins, subtler this time, a pathogen specifically designed to eradicate them.
Her voice was hollow at this point, all emotion gone.
We called it the Yersinia pestis. The Homo sapiens, now calling themselves humans, called it the Black Death. It failed to eradicate them. Most in the Senate wanted to stop at this point, but the quorum wouldn't allow it. They created another virus called influenza, and then another called coronavirus. And they survived? Threx questioned as sounded.
The speaker looked at him.
No, they evolved. They grew stronger. It united them to fight a common enemy, and it also made them more dangerous.
Rex's voice was fearful whisper.
And they have never left their world until last week,
came the horrifying reply from the speaker. Threx immediately felt the air of the Senate chamber become noticeably colder, and the air more tense.
We maintain a monitoring vessel in the system. Unfortunately, it appears to have suffered some kind of engine trouble. The crew sent out a distress call, but due to some system malfunctions, it only went out over low beam frequencies, meaning it took cycles before we learned of their situation, and too late for us to send help. It crashed onto the planet. 2 of the crew survived and were captured by humans,
the speaker explained. The holographic images changed again, this time the humans collecting the wreckage from the downed ship, examining the engine and other ship's systems, groups of them working together to build something. Feck watched in horror at the speed the humans worked. Days turned into weeks, turned into cycles. Ceaselessly, they toiled, and with a sense of dread he realized what they were building. It was a ship.
They reverse-engineered our vessel,
the speaker explained.
They broke our most advanced encryption and accessed our cultural databases and star maps. They took our technology and upgraded it.
The image changed again, this time to the now completed vessel flying and leaving the planet's atmosphere.
That image was taken last week. By our calculations and on their predictable flight path, they'll be arriving here at any moment,
the speaker said calmly, which unnerved Feck even more.
We believe that they are on their way here. They have the 2 surviving crew members with them, but we do not know their intentions.
Peaceful? Feck asked, almost hopeful.
We simply do not know, and that is what is terrifying them,
the speaker murmured, gesturing to the fleeing diplomats. As if the universe had a sense of irony, the klaxon echoed through the chamber, a warning alert, notifying everyone of the approach of an unknown vessel. A few remaining ambassadors, too slow to make it off-world, looked skyward. They watched in silence as the vessel descended. Feck stared in awe at the ship. It was a monstrous and elegant, both crude and magnificent, a ship made of steel forged in atmosphere, crude ion engines, and a hull bore, decorated with strange symbol, a hand outstretched, a tree, a sun. The ship landed and a ramp lowered. From the shadow stepped a woman, clad in a crude environmental suit, stitched with strange patches and symbols of Earth, and behind her were the 2 alien crew, alive, smiling, and unharmed. Feck and the speaker walked to meet them halfway. The human smiled, not like a predator, not like a conqueror, just warmly. She waved.
"Hi," she said,
her crew translator repeating the words in multiple different languages.
"Sorry for dropping in unannounced. I am Commander Kenny Hutton, United Earth Alliance. I've been sent to return your surviving people home to you. I hope you don't mind me dropping in unannounced."
The silence was deafening. One of the more timid Qatari aides dropped a datapad. It shattered on the floor. Callie looked around at the wide, terrified eyes, and her smile seemed to falter.
"Well, was it something I said?"
Callie asked nervously. Only Feck found the courage to step forward. He bowed nervously, and then slowly and deliberately he extended his hand.
"Welcome to the Galactic Senate," he said. "Please don't kill us."
Callie burst out into a nervous laugh.
"Why would we do that?"
she asked quizzically, before continuing, "It's a real nice place you have here." And with that, the age of humanity in the stars begun. Not with a war, not with a conquest, but with a smile and a handshake. And with that, Feck began to realize, with a crystallizing, cold, dawning fear, that most dangerous species in the galaxy might also be the friendliest. End of story. I'd greatly like to thank our Tier 5 channel members, Casper Arnholtz, John Creighton, Manatharia, 050, Dragzoon WRE, and Elijah Silvercross. Thank you very much.